VOO or FXAIX, which one should you invest in? Both track the S&P 500 or the top 500 performing companies in the United States. Here's a few differences for you to know so that you can make an educated decision for yourself and what's best for your own portfolio. The first thing is what type of investment these are. So VOO from Vanguard is an ETF or an exchange traded fund, whereas VXAIX from Fidelity is a mutual fund. And while I have other videos that go into the differences between the two, here's the basic breakdown. ETFs are able to be traded throughout the day on most stock exchanges. They tend to have lower expense ratios and are considered to be more tax efficient because they have what's called an in-kind redemption, which basically results in fewer capital gains distributions in your account. They also usually have no minimum investment amounts and are best for tax-sensitive investors, traders, or people seeking low-cost options. Mutual funds, on the other hand, are traded once per day at market close, so at the end of the day. They tend to have higher expense ratios than ETFs, and some of them do have minimum investment amounts, so you need to meet that in order to invest in them. And they are less tax efficient as they may trigger a capital gains distribution when you're selling stocks within your portfolio. They're typically better for long-term investors or those that want to automate everything. But again, these are not hard and fast rules. Always do your own research. This is not financial advice. I'm not telling you what to invest in. I'm simply trying to educate you so that you can make the best decision for you and your financial goals. So you know that VOO and VXAIX both track the same index. If we compare the expense ratios, FXAIX has a lower expense ratio than VOO at 0.015%, with VOO's being 0.03%, which means that on every $1,000 that you have invested in the funds, you would pay 15 cents for FXAIX and 30 cents for VOO. In terms of dividend yield, FXAIX has a trailing 12-month dividend yield of 1.11%, with VOO being slightly higher at 1.13%. If we look at total performance over the life of the fund, FXAIX is currently at 11.82%, whereas VOO is at 14.81%. So in terms of which one is better for you, it really is a personal preference. It comes down to which investment type do you prefer, which platform do you like. If you're already native to Fidelity, FXAIX is really well integrated and easy to automate. Same thing if you're already on Vanguard. VOO is going to be in that same boat over there. While FXAIX has a slightly lower cost associated with it, if you're looking for more tax efficiencies and higher trading abilities, then you might want to look at VOO since it's an ETF. Another consideration is what type of account do you have? So if you only have a retirement account and maybe it's a Roth, then you don't necessarily care as much about the tax implications because all of the dividends and capital gains in a Roth are tax-free. Whereas if you have a traditional 401k or IRA or a taxable brokerage account, then you do want to be more careful about triggering tax events. And so in that case, VOO is going to be a little bit more tax efficient than a mutual fund like FXAIX. Whenever you're analyzing stocks or other asset classes, it really all comes down to what is the best option for you, not for anybody else, just for you. That's why it's so important to always do your own research and due diligence and not blindly trust anybody that you hear online or elsewhere. Personal finance is personal, and that's what makes it so fun. Let me know in the comments which one of these you personally invest in, and make sure you're signed up for my free weekly newsletter where I go into more depth on all things investing and personal finance for wealth building that actually lasts. You can find the link in my bio.